What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 8. We start today's episode with our fixtures for February. As you can see, Brighton and the Magpies at home before a trip to the Emirates to take on Arsenal away from home. As I was simulating through the first days of February, the FA Cup 4th round replays were played in the midweek. So as you can see, we got the tournament prize money email here. We see the draw for the 5th round of the FA Cup, and can you believe it? Third straight round. It's the luck of the draw. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. Millwall, my team, away from home in South East London at the Den. Tasty London derby there with Chelsea versus Spurs as well. So yeah, third straight round we've been drawn against the Championship side. Sometimes, again, you'll be very unlucky with cup draws. You'll go season after season and you're always facing a big team. Sometimes, again, you get lucky and you get the lower league sides in successive rounds. So Millwall away, though, I will say this. Millwall do have a very good record in the past decade of taking on Premier League sides and beating them at the Den. So won't be an easy one against the Lions there. But regardless, as well, you would have seen as well, we had a bit for Ashley Barnes from Sheffield United. Much more realistic than the other bids that came in. And as he's 31 years old, he's only scored 2 goals in 16 Premier League games. Yes, a lot of assists, though. I will give him the credit there. He's been setting them up pretty consistently. I decided to cash in and let him go to the Blaze. That deal will go through in the summer. And again, it's a far more realistic destination than the other clubs that have previously put bids in. Mentioned it before, and I'll say it once again, it's not just about where we sign players from and who they are coming to the club, making it realistic, but also when selling the players, they need to be realistic destinations. I could definitely see Ashley Barnes going to Sheffield United, but still taking on Brighton for the first game of today's episode here, Graham Potter's side. What a strange season for Brighton in the game. Rock bottom of the Premier League, still yet to get into double digits, so taking on Potter's side here, feeling incredibly confident indeed on the back of the 1-1 draw against Chelsea, which really should have been a win. And we scored 2 very early goals to give us a comfortable lead. Though what I will say is this Brighton in the second half totally woke up. You know those games of FIFA you have, and I'm sure you guys have had plenty of them, I certainly have as well, where in the first half you absolutely dominate and you're in complete control, but then in the second half it's almost like the AI go from like ultimate to super ridiculous ultimate. Like you just can't stop them. Brighton had so many chances in the second half. Had it not been for Nick Pope and Jack Stacey heading a header off the line from a corner, we would have been, despite being 2-0 up at the break, probably 3-2 down in the second half. Aaron Connolly did give Brighton a goal back with 30 minutes to go, but thankfully, despite a late rally from the Seagulls, we held on to the 3 points there in a big victory as we get back on track and get back to winning ways. But I'll tell you what, rock bottom of the Premier League, 9 points all season long. I do not know how based on that performance. Yes, we won, but that was a really, really tough game. And I had Nick Pope to thank for us getting the 3 points in that one. Still following that, as you can see, Rory Stone completed his position change to centre-back. He only grew 1 rating from 61-62 overall. 17 years old, I've given him the ball-playing defender development plan. That'll increase his horrific 1-star weak foot. And he does look pretty decent so far. Touch wood, that potential range does not decrease too much. As I mentioned before, throughout the course of this series, potential ranges will decrease over time with your players in your academy. Eventually, they'll become set at a certain range between 6 ratings, but hopefully he'll still look as good as he does as our first man who looks very decent in the academy. For the second game of today's episode, on the back of that position change, there we've got a Magpies taking on Steve Bruce's Newcastle United here at Turf Moor. Aims to make it back-to-back wins in this game against another side right now below us in the table. Had a hatful of chances in the first half, missed them all. First Reece Nelson, then De Silva looking for his first goal of the club, firing that one way off target. But with 15 minutes to go, as Ashley Barnes finds Dwight McNeil, wouldn't you just know it, I've agreed to sell him to Sheffield United in the summer. And what does he do? Very next game for us, gets a goal, makes it 1-0 and gives us the game winner, as if to say this is what you're going to miss next season here at Turf Moor. Yeah, bought him off the bench for Chris Wood as he didn't run off the injury, and he pops up with the game winner after a little cutback from Dwight McNeil. It always seems to happen, you agree to sell a player and then the very next game they put in a stormer or get you the game winner or whatever. Definitely did that. Barnes the hero in a 1-0 victory. So back-to-back wins. Good to get a clean sheet as well. Haven't had too many of those to begin the second half of the season off. And also Chris Wood's injury, as you can see, was a bruised shoulder. So once again, another 5-day injury. Now, real briefly on this, you'll see the sliders here. The injury frequency, for those curious, and the injury severity are currently set at 85. and 65, but this is what I was talking about earlier on this series. This is why you need to increase those two slider settings there, otherwise you just won't get any injuries whatsoever throughout the course of a season, which is incredibly unrealistic. I mean, frequency again, 85. Yeah, we don't get that many. I mean, yes, we get a few little knocks here and there, quite a lot of knocks here and there, to be honest, with the bruised shoulders and the bruised elbows we're getting for our players. But the severity being 65, and yet the only serious injury we've had so far has been Dwight McNeil, who missed about a month's worth of football. The only other injuries we've had have been 5-day knocks. So, yeah, definitely increase those injury sliders, guys. If you're looking for a realistic CM, that is one of the biggest tips I can give you guys. And I do believe, despite the fact they are 85 and 65, which really you would think is a bit high, it's seemingly quite low. So I think I might increase the frequency to 90, which is crazy when you think about it, and also the severity to 70 to 75, somewhere along that range. But to still follow that 1-1 draw away at Arsenal against the Gunners, mentioned briefly in the last episode against Chelsea, we hadn't had a scalp so far in the season. Of course we had. We had a scalp in the season so far. We beat the Gunners. I think our first win of the season, actually, at Turf Moor. Got a 1-1 draw there in North London, though. Pretty decent result there. And as you can see, a scouting update and an academy update here as we enter the first of the month, and wouldn't you just know it, I mentioned it, Rory Stone's potential decrease. Man, oh man, oh man. He looked so good, and he's been nerfed by EA, 63 to 83, which, to be fair, I mean, if it doesn't decrease too much from here, I could see it settling at around 75 to 83, which isn't bad when you think about it. High 70 overall isn't too bad. As you see right now, we're well clear of the bottom three on the back of those back-to-back victories here. And despite some tough fixtures coming in March, Everton at home, Spurs away, and Manchester United, Old Trafford as well, I do feel confident we'll avoid a relegation scrap here as we approach the business end of the season. Those potential decreases, man, this is why I'm so selective when giving youth players academy scholarships, because they so often decrease, and sometimes so significantly. Rory Stone looked amazing. Now he looks meh. Could be alright, I suppose. So frustrating, man. He looked incredible when we first scouted him, but thus, that is the problem when you put someone in your academy very quickly and don't leave him scouting in the report. Still, for the fourth game of today's episode, we would stay in London but travel from the north to the southeast to take on the Lions away at the Den here in the FA Cup 5th round. A chance to reach the quarterfinals for our first season of this save. Had a great chance early, Dwight McNeil denied by the Bartman, but then John Daddy gives the Lions the lead after a really frustrating goal. So often it's happened to me this year's FIFA where I've just been a bit heavy with the first touch, not being able to clear the ball away, and the opponent runs on to score. So 1-0 the Lions. We would get back on level terms right before the break. First goal for the new man in on transfer deadline day, Josh De Silva signing from Brentford, a London rival of the Lions, and firing in his first goal for Burnley. That must have felt sweet. So 1-1 back on level terms there. And I mentioned before, Millwall have got a great record in the past decade of dumping out teams in the Premier League and the FA Cup. You think of the likes of Leicester City, for example, Everton, Aston Villa. That might have been over a decade ago now, thinking about it. But they've had some decent cup sets at the Den over the years. But in this game, wasn't prepared to be their latest victim. Felt confident I could win this one despite trailing, and we did as well. Chris Wood, 21 minutes after the restart, had a loan spell at Millwall. Sorry, I forgot to show you respect there to keep it realistic, but either way, the emotion got the better of me there as Chris Wood fires in the game winner, and there it is, we come from behind to win, and we are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup into the last 8. I said I wanted a cup run, we've had the luck of the draw, I'll be the first to admit it. So after I completed my post-match interview, all the games completed on that Wednesday night, as they are now in the last 16, we'd see the match rescheduled and tournament prize money email straight away, and in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, we've got... Can you believe it? Another championship side. 2 remaining, Middlesbrough and Bournemouth. We've got the former Spurs versus Man City. What a quarter-final that will be, as Bournemouth take on Manchester United and Newcastle have the Eagles. So yeah, another championship side. The 4th successive round we've been drawn against a championship side. And I said it earlier, and I'll say it once again, that is just the luck of the draw. Sometimes it works in your favour, and I'm the first to admit we have been very fortunate this year with the cup draws. Middlesbrough away at the Riverside Stadium. Once again, we're going away. We still haven't played at Turf Moor in the FA Cup this season, but if we can get through the Borough, we are in to the FA Cup semi-final and book a place at Wembley. That will be incredible for our first season, though of course I will be honest, it will still be a very lucky way to do it, 4 straight championship sides. Anyway, final game of today's episode on the back of a nice little streak here for Burnley, taking on Ancelotti's Toffees, who for some reason have struggled so much this season, sit below us in the table right now. But based on the 2 games I've had against them, I don't know why. We lost 3-0 at Goodison Park, absolutely destroyed. And in this one here, 2-0 down very early on, and then right before the break. Very soft penalty, at least I would say. But Nick Pope, the penalty killer, wouldn't you believe it? A positive, if nothing else there, stops his 4th straight penalty in a 2-0 loss. So still a defeat, but even so, still nice to know if we ever concede a penalty and Nick Pope's in goal, I feel confident he'll make the stop. Anyway, 9 games to go, as you can see, 12th place, 34 points on the board, 35 points on the board and 15 clear of the Blades. A chance to get to the FA Cup semi-final if we get through the Borough, and looking as though safety is secure in the Premier League. Should be a good end to the season if we can do what's expected of us. But that was this episode of the Realistic CM, guys. We thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, if you had, please drop a like. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic CM very soon.